fluence, never fluence. This is a message. This is an ancestor message. I keep hearing the guardian. The guardian. Okay. Woo! Papa. So, La Morte. La Morte. You guys see how that flipped out. Let's get another card. So a lot of you guys are going through a death and rebirth process, a spiritual growth. This is also a balance, okay? Hold on. I keep seeing the guardian here. Woo, that card flipped. Also, I got the water sign. This is a Santa Marte deck, a Orisha deck, the old deck, okay? Very old deck that was given to me, okay? So let me get one more card for this ancestral message. I keep hearing the guardian is here. A lot of you guys are the guardian, and a lot of you guys are connecting to the guardian. Your ancestors, Ashe. Can't even make it up. The guardian angel. Okay, the guardian angel. Okay. You see this guardian angel, she's pouring into her cups, right? This is releasing emotions, okay? You may have felt stuck, okay? This is also showing me not just stuck, okay, with this water element here, okay? These are the three cards I got. La Marte, okay, or the Grand Reaper, okay? This is a death and rebirth process. So you're going through a death and rebirth. You're growing spiritually. You're learning. And also, this also shows me with this I wouldn't say staff. I would say like a knife. That anybody that did you wrong, okay, they're coming for them, okay? Ashe. Now, you felt stuck, okay, but you are no longer stuck going forward, because they're removing, okay? This reminds me of when I was on a slave plantation and they had them old hooks. They used to cut the rice, cut the weed down to grow the rice, okay? So when I see this card is death, okay, a death, but not a natural death, okay? Well, you could say natural because you have to go through a natural death to be reborn again multiple times, okay, in your spiritual journey. There's a death and rebirth, right? And with this water card here, okay, it's showing me that this is releasing of emotions of being stuck, okay? So you've been stuck in your life. Oh my gosh, the ringing, the angels are around me, okay? You have been stuck in your life and you felt like you couldn't go forward, okay? There was a lot of blockages, okay? Now, some of these blockages were yourself and some of these blockages were other people, okay? When people try to do a destiny swap, it never works, okay? What is meant for you is meant for you and meant for you only, okay? So there's a lot of releasing of emotions, okay? This is a rebirth, okay? Especially with this, the guardian angel where I kept seeing her, okay? So this is also showing me that you're not alone, okay? You may feel like you're alone, but you're not alone, okay? Because the guardians are with you. The guardians are your ancestors, okay? The guardians are you, okay? You are the guardian, okay? But you're pouring into your cup, okay? Maybe you were not pouring into yourself in the past, but you're pouring into yourself now, okay? And this is pouring in, and also with this water is the emotions. So there's a lot of releasing of old emotions. You're releasing and you're letting go, okay? And not just releasing and letting go. This is not just don't think of negative, but also think of positive, okay? A positive releasing, because sometimes you have to reassess and reevaluate, okay, your situation, okay. Now I'm going to go back to this card for some reason, this water card. Normally when we see the fish, it's a rebirth, okay. And this is a big fish, okay. You could be a water sign. There's a lot of water element in here, okay. And also, if you look in this card, the guardian angel, you see her pot, okay? You have poured into yourself, okay? For many, many years, okay? And you felt stuck, but you're no longer stuck, okay? Because the guardian is removing anything that's in front of you, okay? La Marte, they call La Marte the lady of death, but also she's the lady of rebirth, okay? So they're making a way, okay, for you. They're moving blockages for you that you may not have seen, but now you may see them now, because this is the guardian here, okay, the angel guardian, okay, and you are the angel guardian. Let's get one more clarification on the ancestral message for my collectives. The moon. Something was hidden from you. Okay, something was hidden. This is yin and yang, that feminine and masculine energy. And in this moon card, you see the sword, right? And then with the sword, it looks like the heart, okay? So somebody hurt you in the past. They have stabbed you in the back, but not just stabbed you in the back, they stabbed you right in your heart, okay? So, and there's a lot of water here, okay? Their agenda was hidden from you, okay, with this moon card. But now you're seeing these people for who they are. Remember, people, places, and things, okay? So you've been hurt because that sword is pushed into that heart, okay? So I could be speaking to somebody that has a breakup, a loss. This could be many losses, okay? But sometimes we lose to gain, okay? And also with the moon card, it was hidden, but is no longer hidden, okay? And this yin and yang with the moon is that feminine and masculine energy, okay? And there's also water here. So there's a lot of releasing and receiving energy here, okay? Because you have to release this energy, okay? It's no longer serving you, okay? Let's get one more card. La Luna. Okay, La Luna. La Luna is the moon. Give me one more card for my collectives. Yes, something was hidden from you guys. What was hidden? I feel like with that sword in the heart, like somebody's may have stabbed you in the back. Or, oh, these cards are flipping. Thank you, ancestors. A message from the water. A message from the Guaga. Okay. The agua. Okay. You could be a message from the water. Your ancestors could be Atlantean. You could be from the Atlantean. You could be from the Atlantean descendants. Because this is what I'm getting. The message from the water. So what was hidden from you? was your own emotions, because you were holding your emotions inside, right? And you weren't letting them go. You were holding on to anger, guilt, a shame, but you're no longer holding on to that, because if you see the 2 horse here, you're moving forward, okay, in the direction you need to go, okay? That was what was hidden from you, okay? Movement. You were stuck in this energy. I feel like the stuck energy, okay? Give me one more card. Somebody could have a lot of water in their chart. Also, when we look at the element of water, water is always releasing, receiving energy, okay? So you're releasing old energy and receiving understanding of your situation. Samladores, okay? This looks like a lizard, okay? Give me a clarification card for this lizard. It's interesting because this lizard, if you look at the lizard, you can barely see the lizard's body, okay? Lizards are like chameleons, okay? So you could have been dealing with a chameleon, okay? A chameleon is somebody that knows how to adapt to different environments, okay? The lizard, and they blend in, okay? You could be a chameleon yourself or a lizard, and what I mean by you can blend in, you can also adapt to any situation, okay? Because normally when you see a lizard, whatever it touches turns that color, okay? It's like a protection mechanism, okay, for the lizard. Give me another clarification card for my ancestor collective message. So you could have also been around somebody like a lizard, okay, a chameleon, okay? Chameleons, they never truly show themselves. Oh my gosh, ancestors, Yemaya, woo! You guys, before I started this reading, she was coming through, okay? She was coming through. And the dragon is here. Wow, the air element is here with the water. There's a lot of water here, okay? A lot of blue, okay? And I'm using a Santa Marte deck or Risha deck. The air element, you could be an air sign or a water sign or earth sign. You could be any sign because all the elements are here. The card that came out behind it was of fire, okay? And you have this dragon, right? And you have these people right here, right? Fighting this dragon, okay? This is very interesting that I got this card for ancestor message because it's like whatever you was going against was like a dragon and a chameleon, honestly. But you see how they're coming together to fight this dragon? Okay, so the ancestors are helping you fight whatever dragon this is, okay? Now, when I talk about dragon, you can look up what dragon means, okay? Dragons are mystical creatures that once roamed this earth, okay? And also not just once roamed this earth. There's the descendants of the dragons, okay? So it's interesting how the ancestors are also taming this dragon. Okay, they're helping you, they're guiding you. You may not see that, but they are, okay? This is fire too. And also when you think about the dragon in tarot, you think of the phoenix rising, okay? But you're not rising by yourself. And the reason why I'm telling you you're not rising by yourself, because the guardian is here, okay? You are the guardian angels, and the guardian is you, okay? But you're not alone. Okay, you may have felt like you were alone. You're not alone with that moon card. Okay, there was stuff that was hidden from you. It could have been betrayal, but these people are being shown to you. Now, I got the lot of water here. So there's a lot of releasing of emotions. and I got Yama, okay. You could be your, if you are a practicing Santeria, even if you're not, okay, you could be drawn to the water element, okay. She lived once. She still lives to this day, okay. She is the Empress, okay. She is maternal. She is not just maternal. She is the element of water, okay. And when I see her, it reminds me of descendants of Atlanteans, okay. She is in her full nakedness, okay. So this is like you may be in your full nakedness, and you are going through. Hello, I love. You may be going through a transformation, okay, because you were dealing with chameleons, okay, chameleons, lizards, okay. Lizards know how to adapt to any environment, okay. So we got a lot of water. So you're moving, you're going to get a message from the water. This is a message from your ancestors. You might get this message in your dreams. You might get this message in your awake state, because you're always awake if you think about it. But with the 2 horse, you're going to be moving forward, okay? Because the reason why, because nothing is hidden from you anymore, okay? With this moon, okay? And this death, okay? When we think of death, some people think of death as a bad thing, but sometimes a death is a good thing, okay? Death is not to be perceived as a bad thing, because we always die and we're always reborn again. Ashe, okay? But there was something that was hidden with this moon, okay? Somebody could have betrayed you, with this sword. But what's interesting is they may have betrayed you, but look who's coming for them, okay? May I say, Ashe. So with the death card, La Marte, she's clearing out the way, okay? And also when I see this card, it shows me the ancestors are clearing out the way, okay? Because they hear everything, they see everything, okay? You may not hear everything and you may not see everything, but they do. Okay, the angel guardian, the air. Okay, somebody might be traveling soon. Okay. We also got the fire, the phoenix rising. Okay, but it's interesting when you see the phoenix rising, you see these people fighting this dragon. Okay, that is your ancestors fighting this dragon. Okay, because you're not alone. You're never alone. Ashe. This is the message I got, you guys. This is a beautiful message, okay, for her to show up in my deck. I was hoping Shango would show up. Shango is no joke, okay? He's a protector. He's a warrior, okay? Let's get one more card for my collectives. This is an ancestral message. I don't know why I feel like he's going to pop out. Shango. Shango. When Shango shows up in a reading, because he's showing up in my reading, he clears the way. May I say. Another air. This is a hawk. Normally when you see a hawk, okay, a hawk is very keen. Okay, they have very good eyesight. Okay, very good eyesight. Out of all the birds, the hawk can see the farthest, and you never see a hawk coming. Okay, so this is very interesting. Okay, so you can be, your vision can be like a hawk or eagle. Okay, because I'm getting a hawk and eagle here. An eagle is also a very, very smart bird. Okay, they can see at altitudes that no other birds can see. Okay, so you could also be able to see, okay, with your spiritual eyes. Ashe, ashe. Baba, give me one more card. And if you notice, the eagle or the hawk is taking flight. Okay, so you will be taking flight. Okay, ashe, ashe. And with this sun card is everything that was meant for you will be returned to you. Okay, whatever you were hoping for, okay, as far as blessings, ashe, ashe, the sun, okay, and the ankh, okay. This is feminine energy, okay. So whatever you're going to be blessed with, okay, it is something that you have wanted, and it is also something that is meant for only you to have. Ashe, ashe. Also, one more card for my beautiful collectives. Woo! Papa. Woo! When we see this card, you guys, this is truly the ancestor and ancestral work that is being done behind the scenes, okay, that you may not see, okay, but you feel, okay, because you are never alone, okay. When I tell you, you are never alone, you are never alone. Ashe. Okay, we think that I'm going to do a video on death, the concept of death, because our loved ones, they never die. They go to another dimension, okay? We live on forever, but we may not live on forever in this dimension, okay? The concept of death is wrong, okay? Because if you see these three heads, okay, this is some deep ancestral, and I'm talking about deep ancestral, okay, work being done, okay, that you may not see in the background, okay, but it's being done. Ashe, ashe. Okay, one more card. This is a beautiful read. Very beautiful. Let me shuffle. The concept of death is wrong. They have colonialized us. Woo. The snake in the rainbow. You know, there's stories told about this snake. Okay? Stories. Okay? In the Australian Aborigine culture, there's a story about a snake. Okay? Now, this is not no normal snake. Okay? This snake, okay, is the color of the snake is interesting, is green, right? Because you're grounding and earthing your energy, right? But this snake is not green, okay? This snake is a rainbow color, okay? This snake is not an average size snake, may I say, Ashe, okay? Wow, this is deep, okay? This shows me too with this snake. There's a story you guys can read about the snake in the Aborigine culture. There's many snakes in many cultures. They talk about this snake. This is not a normal snake. Okay, this is a snake on the spiritual realm. And this snake is not an average size snake. Okay, this is very interesting because we have the hawk, the eagle, the lizard, the manatee, the dragon, okay, the dragon, the fire, and they're trying to tame this damn dragon, okay? This is a deep ancestral read here. Oshamari is here in my read. I've never pulled her in my read, okay? This is some serious ass root work, okay? You hear that horn, okay? That might have been done on you, okay? But this snake is going to swallow your enemies. Ashe. Okay? This is no joke here. Okay? When this card comes out, this is no joke. Okay? And this card coming out, all right? So she is swallowing your enemies and killing the dragons. And you may be a lizard. So a lizard is somebody that, hello, what about toxic friends? This is what's happening, Tatiana. This could be friends. This could be a love relationship. This could be a job relationship. It is ending for you, okay? Or it may have ended for you, okay? This is some deep energy here. But they're being handled in a spiritual realm. There's a story about a snake. And many cultures talk about this snake. This snake is something, it's interesting because with that rainbow and this snake, if you look in the Aborigine culture, okay, the Aborigines talk about this snake, right? And this snake has the rainbow colors on the snake, okay? But this snake appears one way, but can change into multiple colors, okay? This is also showing me like a Kundalini energy, okay, awakening energy. That Kundalini when you awaken, okay, that snake, Ashe. The message is that you are moving forward with the Chariot. Okay, this could be any situation. This is a positive message, okay? Because you are moving forward. You are supposed to proceed forward. With the water element, I feel like somebody's getting dreams and visions. Okay, you could be a child of the sun. Okay. And something was hidden with the moon card. So it's no longer hidden. Okay, everything will be revealed. I'm talking about everything, you guys. Nothing is hidden anymore. Okay. And it's also with that yin and yang, there's a balance. Okay. So a lot of you guys are coming into balance with your feminine and masculine energy. Okay. Because some of you guys been too much in your feminine and some of you guys been too much in your masculine. Okay. And it should not be like that. There always should be a balance of your feminine energy and your masculine energy. Okay. That's why they call it the yin and yang. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you guys. And a lot of you guys are in your nakedness, your rawness. There's a lot of water here. There's a lot of fire. There's a lot of earth energy. The guardian angels are here. And you are seeing clear. Okay, you are seeing clear. This is somebody that has dreams. Okay, that gives divination in their dreams. Okay, you see things in your dreams. Okay, wow, and you see this eagle or hawk is taking flight. Okay, taking flight. So a lot of you guys need to take flight. Okay, proceed. Okay, because a lot of times you can hold yourself back. But in this reading, it's interesting. It's like somebody tried to take your blessings. Okay, this is like a destiny swap. Actually try to take what was yours, okay? And the ancestors are like, hell no. Ashe, ashe. All right, you guys. All right, thank you guys for joining. This was a collective message for my beautiful souls. I love this deck. This is an old deck. Very old. It brings in the magic and the mystery of ancient Africa to the world. Okay. Ancient Africa, even in the Spanish or Caribbean, this was our ancestors. Okay. We were connected straight to our ancestors. Okay. We knew about ancestral worship. Okay. We knew about not just worship. I wouldn't really say worship, but we knew about our ancestors. Okay. We knew how to communicate with them. We knew how to call them. I wanted to do an ancestral prayer. I don't have the book with me. I'll be right back, guys. I want to do an ancestral prayer. And I don't have the book. It was out here. Just give me a minute. All right, I'm back. So I'm going to do an ancestral prayer. Let me see if I can find it. There's many African stories. The one African story that is a beautiful African story about the snake, the rainbow snake. It's a story about the Aborigines and how the Aborigines, it's about their ancestors, okay? Hold on, you guys. A lot of you guys don't know the weight you carry, okay? You carry a lot of weight. And a lot of you guys may be dealing with money issues or illnesses, sickness. There was that horn again. Ashe. The ancestors are not playing. I will put the ancestral message on my my community board. I'm looking for the prayer in this book. I will put it up on the community board because I'm not seeing it. You guys hear that horn? They are not playing. These ancestors are not playing, you guys. I'm telling you. If you have a passed over loved one, you need to call on them, okay? They can hear you and they can see you. They're always around you. Call on them, okay? Because they will show you stuff, you guys. I'm telling you. That horn blew 3 times. Hi from Florida. That horn blew 3 times, okay? So this shows me some serious ancestral work that needs to be done, okay? And how the ancestral work needs to be done is you need to call on them, okay? Call on them, and they will come. They will show up for you, okay? And tell them, show me what I'm not seeing, okay? Because there was something hidden with that moon card, okay? Ashe, ashe. But it's no longer hidden, okay? It's revealed to you, okay, you guys? I will put the prayer on my community page. A lot of you guys are on your spiritual journey. What I have on my, I did a video and I'll never forget the video. I always say I don't have an altar, but I really do have an altar if you think about it, because the altar I have is pictures of my passed over loved ones, like my aunt, my grandma, my nanny, my walla, my great grandmother. They're always around us, you guys. You call on them, okay? They will show you what you need to see, okay? They will either show you in your wake state or your dream. Well, we call it your sleep state, but you're not really asleep, okay? You're still awake, okay? You're just astral traveling, okay? So they will show you, okay? You call on them, okay? That is what they're there for, okay? To guide you, okay? And there's sometimes the unseen, okay? We don't always see the unseen, right? But they take care of the unseen, okay? So this is somebody I'm talking to, and this is a collective ancestor message. Could be dealing with money issues, and also an illness, okay? Now, this is an illness that I feel like you may have put upon yourself, and why I say that is because sometimes when you're stressed, you can cause illness, okay? Especially when it comes to financial, worrying about finances, okay? But money flows to me easily. Money comes to me frequently, okay? So I will put the ancestral prayer up. You could say it. And when you say it, just call on your ancestors, okay? This was an old way, okay? And also I want you to look up about the rainbow snake, okay? The rainbow snake, because the rainbow snake showed up in my reading, okay? And this is a story in many African cultures, not just the Australians, the Aborigine culture. Many Africans talk about these snakes, okay? Many Africans talk about these snakes, okay? But I was shown the rainbow snake, okay? So it brought me to the Aborigine people, okay? You could be from Australia. You could be Aborigine yourself, okay? But this is beautiful with this feminine energy, with her heart chakra, and she's just dancing. She's loving on herself. She's dancing. This is finding happiness, celebration. So many of you guys will be celebrating. Many of you guys will be bringing in new love, and also loving on yourself, okay? This was a beautiful message. We had some heavy stuff come out. There's a lot of water here, okay? The element of water, okay? So when I see the element of water, water is good for receiving and releasing, okay? Yeah, there's a lot of water here. So a lot of you guys are releasing and receiving, okay? Thank you guys for this, joining me for this ancestral message. Hit that like button. Share my video. Share. Ashe, ashe. And this is also the enlightenment card. Yes, water is good, okay? Water is good. Water is a good element because water is one of the most powerful elements. Water, okay? You can put yourself in the body of water. Ashe, ashe, okay? A spiritual bath, Okay, sometimes we need spiritual baths. Okay, you just get in the water. Okay, you can add stuff to the water. You can add all different kinds of stuff to your water. Okay, whatever you prefer, you can add to your water. Okay, I'm also seeing, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing, some of you guys might need to get, it's called bat. Is bat something? And you can wear it in a pouch. What is it called? It's called bat. It's bat. It looks like a bat. Okay, you can get it on Etsy. You can get it on Amazon. They come in like 3 a pack, 1 a pack. You hear them horns? These ancestors are not playing. They're coming through. Ashe. Oh, the Mary, they are coming through. So I'm seeing, okay, there is a root. Okay, it's one of the strongest roots out there, you guys. Ashe, Ashe, come through. I'm seeing 2 roots here. I'm seeing St. John's. I'm making sure I'm saying the root right. I actually have the root. Hold on, okay, I'm putting the phone down one more time. Somebody says 2811. Hold on, you guys. I'm seeing 46 or 46 or 64. Hold on, you guys, 1 minute. Let me get the root. All right. Sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. I got some more of my roots. And I'm going to look up this root. It's the most powerful root. I use it all the time. I also wear it in my medicine pouch. I'm doing some rearranging and remodeling right now. So, Ashe, Ashe, ancestors. Where's the root? Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you the roots. You can wear it in a medicine pouch. Okay. You can buy a medicine pouch wherever you live. Put this root. Did you ever post part 2 of the spider grandmom? Yeah, spider grandmom, her message was that there is going to be a lot of things coming out on about what is being done to a lot of indigenous people, okay, and to a lot of people, okay, because Grandma Spider is for all people. But Grandma Spider was mostly for the indigenous people. The Caribbean people know about Grandma Spider, or they call her Granny, Nanny. There's a lot of stuff that's going to come to the front, okay, to the forefront, okay. That's what she was saying, okay. So the root I'm talking about, I'm going to get it. Just give me a minute, you guys. I have it here. I'm making a bracelet out of one of the roots. Yeah, spiders are very interesting when you see the spiders. It depends on how you feel when you see the spider. When Grandma Spider showed up, she showed up as an older woman, like a grandmother. And I seen the webs. She was showing me the webs, and then she was showing me what was going on in my personal life. Okay. And she was also showing me about the Emily Pike case. Okay. Because I did the read about Emily Pike, and then she showed up during the read. I mean, she showed up that same night, okay, to relay the message, okay, that whatever is hidden will no longer be hidden, okay. Yes, glory to Yeshua, Jah, okay, glory to him, yes. Nothing is going to be hidden from us, you guys, okay? So hold on to your seats. So there's two roots that are very powerful roots. If you do any root work, okay? And I suggest you all go buy this root. Now you can buy this root at a herbal store, okay? I am doing some I'm changing up my environment. There is a story I'm going to come back on to tell you guys about the rat. Remember somebody put a rat in my storage unit? They actually entered my storage unit without my permission. They wouldn't let me see the cameras. I might have actually a lawsuit, to be honest with you, okay? When you're out here speaking the truth, you are a targeted individual, okay? And I want to do a video on targeted individuals and MK Ultra because I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers becoming MK Ultra out here, okay? Yes. So you have to be very careful. So the root that I wanted to tell you guys was about, it's called the bat root. And I want to show you what it looks like. It's a very strong root to use when you are doing root work. This is what the bat root looks like. It actually looks like a bat. Okay. This is a very powerful root. Okay. Many Africans use this root. Okay, Ashe. This root is called the bat's head root. Okay. You can even make it into a necklace. You can put it in a pouch. You can make it into I don't know if you can make a bracelet out of it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can carry it in your purse. Okay, you can have a few of them on your altar. Yes, when you're doing some serious ass root work, you need this bat head root. Okay, they sell it on eBay, they sell it on Etsy, they sell it on Amazon. Yeah, root work is ancestral work. It's also a form of protection. Root work. Okay, so root work is ancestral work. So ancestral work is talking to your ancestors. Okay, my dad has crossed over. He's my guardian angel. My grandmother is my guardian angel. My aunt is my guardian angel. A lot of people that have crossed over are around me all the time. Okay, and I utilize them because they show me things, and they also protect me. Okay, they warn me. Okay, because I have a YouTube channel and I talk about shit, and some of the stuff that I talk about is some real shit that's going on. Okay, so to protect myself, I do root work. Okay, I've been doing this since I was a child. Ashe. So let me show you this root. It's a very powerful root. Okay, it's called the bat head root. Okay, you guys can buy this on Amazon. You can buy it on Etsy. You can buy it on eBay. They're very expensive to buy. It's a very powerful root, okay? Especially if you're doing root work or you're doing any kind of blockages, okay? It can also help with blockages, okay? Also, there's another root. St. John's, okay? Now, I burn St. John's, and I also am making a bracelet. I have a St. John's. I have a nice size St. John's. Yes, I use herbs. Ashe. How are you guys doing? I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing good too. I'm trying to make sure it's the right route that I'm telling you guys. Let's see. There's a lot of benefits in herbs. You have to know what herbs you're working with. St. John's, and I have the burdock. The burdock root is a very good root. I have so much, you guys. I had to go to my friend's store. Some places that you go, they don't have stores where you can buy herbs in your neighborhood or in your area. How do you activate it? You don't act, you just like you can burn it. You can burn it. You can say a prayer, and then you can burn it. You can say a prayer, and then you can actually wear it. Okay. These are very powerful roots, especially the bat roots and the. I think it's the. I'm trying to think of one I just bought. I'm gonna make a bracelet out of it. There's a lot of benefits in herbs, but you got to know what herbs. And this video is for entertainment purpose because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, you guys. Okay. I will put a prayer. When you pray, we've been praying wrong for so many years. Even people that say the Lord's Prayer, they've been praying wrong. Okay, you guys, I have been to Egyptian churches, Coptic churches, that speak Arabic, in Aramaic, okay? And when they say the Lord's Prayer, they say, hallowed be thy name, but it's hallowed be thy your name. Like, so it'll be hallowed be thy Jennifer, hallowed be thy Edward, okay? It's not hallowed be thy name, because whose name are you calling, okay? You have to call your name, okay? Edward, Alba, okay? Let me see. Okay. So burdock root is good. St. John is really good. And the bat root is really good. They even use the bat in Mexico, South America, Africa. Yes, people have been wrongly taught how to pray. And they did that to confuse you. And they did that so you're not praying correctly. Okay. You can pray whatever way you want to pray. Okay. But the way they taught us how to pray is the wrong way. Okay. because we're praying to their pagan gods, okay? And I'm not praying to no white Caucasian pagan god, because I'm not white. I'm not a Caucasoid, okay? Um, I am of mixed descent, right? So they have brainwashed us, they have colonized us, and they have lied to us, okay? So we need to uncolonize our mind, okay? Uncolonize the brainwashing, okay? And you pray the way you want to pray, okay? There's no certain way to pray, okay? That is all fucking bullshit, okay? You pray the way you want to pray, okay? Um, and the reason why they did it the way they did it is because to keep us colonialized and brainwashed, okay? Because the gods that they're praying to are fallen angels and they're pagan gods, okay? They are called Caucasoid gods, okay? They're not our ancestors, okay? They're not. And I love every race out here, okay? But I'm not praying to no pagan god, okay? And I'm not worshiping no pagan gods out here, okay? You guys got to know what's really going on out here, okay? There's a lot of trickster energy, okay? And you have to remove that trickster energy to really see what's really going on, okay? So we need to decolonize our minds, okay? And you can pray any way you want to pray, okay? Because I have been to many churches, okay, on my spiritual journey, okay, Shay, okay, on my spiritual path, okay, and on my spiritual path, I was always led back to my roots, okay, because that's where the answers and the truth lies is in my roots, okay? That's where all the answers lie, in our roots, okay? Somebody said, thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, for wrapping your loving arms around us. Yes, these times we need to pray, okay? Not just pray, ask for guidance, okay? Ask for true guidance, okay? Because a lot of us are being deceived out here, okay? I want to do a video on MK Ultra, okay? And the reason why I want to do the video is I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers, okay? YouTubers, I'm talking about good YouTubers that used to talk about stuff like I'm talking about, and then all of a sudden they come back on their lives and they are like in the metaverse, okay? Not just in the metaverse, they're also MK Ultra. And I'm like, how did they get to them? Okay. How did they get to them? You guys, I had to relocate. I had rat at my storage unit. So I was obviously being followed, obviously being watched. Okay. And I'm not fucking crazy. Okay. I know I was being watched. And the reason why I know I was being watched is because my Walla kept showing up. And when she shows up, okay, when my Wella shows up, I know it's a warning, okay? To be mindful and be careful, okay? And to always watch my surroundings, okay? And she kept showing up, okay? She was warning me, okay? Because they can't figure out how a psychic, okay, a minority psychic, because they don't take minority psychics serious, okay? They take Caucasian psychics serious, but we don't get no credit as Black and Hispanic psychics. We don't, okay? We don't get the same credit as these white psychics, okay? And we should, okay? Because we're good at what we do, okay? We're the real root workers, okay? Ashe. Ashe is an African, it's from the Yoruba tribe. I did an ancestry test and I didn't want to do it because they're selling our DNA. Okay. America has been sold out. Okay. For entertainment purposes, we have been sold out. Our DNA information has been released to other foreign countries. it has been compromised, okay? It has been sold, okay? Our DNA information, okay? That's why 23andMe, I did the video, you guys, okay? I told you why the lady stepped down, okay? The head lady of 23andMe, they were under investigation because they were selling our information, okay? They sold us out. 23andMe, okay? I cannot make this up, you guys. I seen it on the spiritual realm, okay? They sold our information, okay? So think about it. Why would somebody want your DNA information? Think about this. Why would they want it, okay? Why do you think they would want your DNA information, okay? These people have money, okay? That's why 23andMe, the lady stepped down and they had a security breach. There was no security breach. For entertainment purposes, they were selling our information, okay, to whoever had the money for their information to be sold to. I cannot make this up, you guys, okay? Yes, you guys, I was not going to do one. I didn't do an Ancestry.me, that 23andMe. I did another one because I wanted to know what tribe my mother, because I knew my father's tribe was Taino, and they say that the blacks that are here, that we came from West Africa, but we came from all over Africa, and some of us were already here. Okay, they don't talk about the ones that were already here. Okay, so I wanted to know, because if you look at my mother, my cousins, I mean, if I'm gonna show a picture of my cousin, she is a lawyer. Okay, she's the immigration lawyer. Okay, her skin is the most beautiful skin. My mother's skin, my aunt's skin, the most beautiful skin. And I was like, what tribe are they from? So the whole time I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking Nigerian. I'm thinking, I'm even thinking like up more in Africa. And I'm also thinking West African. So I don't know the percentage, and I need to know the percentage, okay? Because my mom and them don't know, okay? But so I should be getting that test back any day to know what part of Africa they were taken from, okay? But when I look at my cousin, I look at my mother, I see Nigerian, but I also see West Africa. Okay, so is Nigeria West Africa? Because I got Africans on here. So black people came from all over Africa. It wasn't just West Africa, okay? But they had to go through West Africa to get on the boats, okay? But they came from everywhere, okay, in Africa. Yes, 23andMe, they had a security breach, but it wasn't a security breach. They were selling our damn information, and the information about them selling it was going to come out. So they had to say it was a security breach. And this is what I was seeing in the spiritual realm. And I did a video on it, okay? And the lady that ran 23andMe, okay, let me find. Her husband is a very important man, okay? Let me find 23andMe. See, you guys, I'm trying to do an ancestor message, and you guys got me. So 23andMe was ran by, let me see the CEO, because she stepped down. Okay, the reason that she stepped down is because she knew that that information was going to come out, that they were selling our information. Okay, they were selling our DNA. Like, who would want the information for our DNA? Think about it. Somebody that needs a kidney, somebody needs a liver, somebody needs a heart. Okay, I'm just saying, FYI. Okay, why would they sell that information? She resigned. She knew she had to resign because this information was going to come out and will come out. There's nothing hidden, you guys. We're in the time of revelations. Revelations, if you look up the word revelations, it just means things that are hidden that will be revealed. And they were always revealed to us. Some of us just couldn't see it. Okay. If you're Mexican, you can connect to your ancestors. I have a Mexicans are very interesting because Mexicans have Mayan. They also have Atlantean. Okay, they're from Atlantis. Okay, the name Aztec came from the Atlanteans. Okay, came from a place that once was in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, that's why the Atlantic Ocean is also named the Atlantic Ocean. It was named after the Atlanteans. Okay, they were a very highly civilization. Okay, so if you are Mexican, you can connect to your Mexican ancestors. Find out what tribe. There's different tribes, indigenous tribes. People think people from Mexico are all Spaniard. Okay, people from Mexico are indigenous. Okay, they have indigenous blood. Okay, if they run their DNA, they are indigenous. Okay, I have a friend. I call her my Atlantean friend. Okay, because I lived in Atlantis in one of my past lives. I lived in Africa in many past lives. I lived in Ethiopia. I lived in West Africa in a past life. I lived in Egypt in a past life, but it's not the Egypt. The Egypt that we see now is not the original Egypt. Okay. But I know my past lives. Okay. Some of my past lives. Okay. But if you're a Mexican, find out what indigenous tribe you belong to, because there's so many indigenous tribes in Mexico. And people think Mexicans are just Spaniards. They were conquered by the Spanish, but they're not fully Spanish. They have some Spanish DNA, but the main DNA that precedes the Spanish DNA is indigenous DNA. And the tribe that my friend comes from, they're like the Dogons in Africa. Okay, they have a whole solar system that they come from. Okay, not just solar system. They have knowledge like the Dogons. Okay. I don't know the tribe, her name of her tribe, because I'm on my live and I have the name of the tribe that she's from. She didn't even know the name of the tribe that she was from. And she called me and she was so excited. She was like, Jen, I'm from this shape-shifting tribe. And they have secrets. They have secret knowledge of the solar system. Okay, like the Mayans. Because I was picking up Mayan when I met her. Okay. And she thought this whole time she was Mayan too. And come to find out, she may have a percentage of Mayan, but she has another indigenous tribe that she didn't even know, you guys. She didn't know. And she was out here healing people. Okay. But she wasn't healing people alone. She was healing people with her ancestors. Okay. And she was so happy and so excited to tell me that. But she didn't know who she was. And I knew who she was when I met her. I was like, you have a true gift. Like, you have a gift of healing. Okay, healing people. It was a part of your indigenous tribe. So she's reconnecting with her indigenous tribe. Okay, she's going back to her roots. And she had to find out what tribe she belonged to. Okay, because Mexicans are not, they are a small percentage of Spanish. Okay, they're indigenous. Okay, first and foremost. Yeah, I didn't do the ancestry one. I didn't do the 23andMe. I did the ancestry one. Okay, I will share my results with you guys because I wanted to know what tribe my mother tribe is, okay? Because I was always told West African, okay? That's why I always talk about the Yoruba word Ashe, okay? So 23andMe co-CEO resigned. Her name is Anna Washcock, whatever her name is. She resigned from 23andMe, from the DNA testing company. She filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and I don't know why she filed bankruptcy, because the woman has money. She married into money, okay? The reason why I feel like she filed bankruptcy is because there was money being funneled, okay? Illegal money. And they also, it was a security risk, okay? It was treason, basically treason, if you think about it. If they selling your information to whoever wants to buy it, that's crazy, okay? Because when you give your DNA, it's confidentiality, okay? So I did an ancestral DNA test, okay? So they have the 23andMe and they have the ancestral DNA. I wouldn't do the 23andMe, just saying, FYI, because there was a security breach, okay? I would do the ancestral test if you decide to do that. Somebody said that she told their family not to do it. Yeah, because you're at risk. Like, I don't even have in my license, like, organ donor. Okay, just saying. Okay, because things are happening to people and they're not being buried with their organs. There's funeral homes that they kept my dad's body for 7 days. 7 days they kept my father's body. Okay, 7 days. Okay. And this was during the COVID. It was 2021. And I'm like, why has it, first of all, he wanted to have his burial a certain way. Okay. So I wrapped him and I put certain oils on his body. It was the hardest thing I had to do. Oh my God, I don't want to start crying. It was one of the hardest things that I had to do. And they held his body for 7 days. And I'm like, why are you holding his body for 7 fucking days? Okay. He was cremated. Okay. But I had to, the only part that I wish that I could have done was wash the body. And many cultures, they wash the body. Okay. So when my mother dies, I will be washing her body and wrapping her the same way. Ashe, okay, and putting certain oils on her body, okay. Certain people have different ways of the way the concept of death is not the right concept of death. We never die, okay. We never die, okay. Death, the concept of death is wrong, okay. Our spirit, our soul lives on forever, okay. The problem is people are getting trapped on the reincarnation cycle, okay? That's the problem, where that loop. Remember I told you that cycle where people are getting cycled back in, okay? And they should be getting cycled back in, and they are, because they're being trapped, okay? They're going to the light, and you're not supposed to go to the light. That's how they trick you, okay? And they can also trick you with a loved one. Okay, you could have a loved one that shows up and you're like, oh, okay, this is my loved one. And it's not your damn loved one, okay? This is why you always got to know, always trust the way you feel, okay? Always trust the way you feel, okay? But the concept of death is wrong. We always live. We live forever. We just go to another dimension, if that's what you want to call it, another place of existence. And when I talk to my ancestors, they always tell me that we're the ones that are dead and they're the ones that are living. Okay. Which I find that very interesting. Okay. They tell me that all the time, okay, that they're actually living and we're actually dead. And I'm like, how's that possible? You know what I mean? Like, but they're always around us. You call on them. You can find out what tribe you're from. Don't do the 23andMe because they have sold our information. The 23andMe, I don't know why that woman filed for bankruptcy because, but she resigned. She knew she had to resign. What I was seeing in the spiritual realm, come through ancestors, that our information was being shared and sold. Okay? And when you do the 23andMe, it should be, I think there's a clause in there. There is a clause in there, even with Ancestry, that you sign that the information is not supposed to be given out, because if you give the information out, you could sue. Okay, you could sue. Okay, that's why there's a clause when you do the Ancestry test, that your information is not given to anybody else. Okay, it's supposed to be protected, confidential information. Okay, this was supposed to be an ancestral read, and you guys had me talking about everything else. But I love talking to you guys. So Ashe is a Yoruba word. It's a West African word. And it's not even the original word. It's not, it's not, the way I'm saying it is not the original way they say it. Okay. The spiritual meaning of Ashe, because they spell it different. Some people spell it A-S-E, and some people spell it A-S-H-E. Okay. A-S-H. So it's a Yoruba word. It's from the Yoruba language. The Yoruba people are all over Africa. Okay, the Yoruba people are all over West Africa, Nigeria, even in South Africa. Okay, they're all over Africa, the Yoruba people. Okay, the Yoruba people were travelers. Okay, they migrated all over Africa. Okay, they were farmers. Okay, so the word Ashe, okay, it signifies power, authority, command, energy, or life force. Okay. It's a concept essential to Yoruba philosophy, okay, and region, representing the power that makes things happen and proceed to change. Okay. Because we have to have change. We have to have evolution and revolution. Okay. In order for us to grow. Okay. And we have to demand authority, and we have to demand power. And we also have to demand command, okay, our life force, because this is our life, okay? Edward says he knows the Yorubas. Yes. The Yorubas are very interesting culture. Very, very interesting. There's different Yorubas. You have some in Nigeria, you have some in Benin, you have some in Togo, you have some in South Africa. I mean, they're all over Africa. They're even in North Africa. Okay. Very, very interesting. The way their culture is very interesting. When they came to America, because there was already Africans here, but they weren't Africans, they were blacks. Okay. They were melanated people were already here in the New World. Okay. They call it the New World. Okay. They were already here. Okay. And some came from Africa. Okay. And some were already here. Okay. Edward, you're African, aren't you? That's what I'm picking up. You're African. Are you Kenyan? Or Nigerian? So when you say ashe, okay, I always say ashe, ashe, ashe. Even in Santeria, we say ashe. It just means power, authority, command, energy, or our life force, okay? That represent the power that makes things happen and produces change, because we need change, okay? We need to change, we need to grow, and we need to learn, okay? And in the way you can do that, the lady from Mexico, connect to your ancestors. Find out what indigenous tribe you belong to, okay? Because there's many indigenous tribes in Mexico, okay? Many, 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 many. I have friends that are Mayans that speak Mayan dialect. And if you ever hear Mayan dialect, it's like a click talk, like South Africa, okay? And it's beautiful. I have one of my friends, if you go down my videos, she's actually speaking the Mayan dialect, okay? But you can pray the way you want to pray. Yes, we have been taught wrong. Just because you pray a certain way don't make you more enlightened or more spiritual, or you're going to go to the heavenly realms, okay? Just because the way you pray, okay? You have people in churches that are practicing witchcraft every day, okay? Ashe, okay? And they're being exposed for it, okay? They go to church and they come home and they're doing all kind of root work, okay? That's where hoodoo came from, okay? Hoodoo is the same as voodoo, okay? And then another thing I'm going to talk about is I hate that Caucasian people, the Caucasoids, okay? I'm starting to believe that I did a read on this, and the energy that I get from these people from this certain area, they are not from this world, okay? I was picking up they're from somewhere else, okay? Now, the Dogons know this. The Mayans know this. Many ancient cultures know that these people are not originally from here, okay? I was picking up something from, I did a read on the guy over there in Israel for entertainment purposes. The guy that's running Israel, okay? He's a Zionist, okay? If you know about Zionists, they're Satanists, okay? For entertainment purposes. The energy that I pick up from him, and there was people that were doing videos, and they were talking about what's going on over there in Palestine and Israel. And the energy that I was picking up from him and the people that was speaking, you guys, I'm telling you, they're not from here. Okay, they're not from here. This is not their origin of the real Israelites have been hijacked. Okay, these people, they're not from this. They're not from here. Okay, I don't know where they're from. Okay, I may sound crazy, but I'm telling you guys, spiritually. And I'm very spiritual. You guys know that they've been following my page for a very long time. These people are not, they are not from this place. Okay. They're not from this dimension. They're not from this time. They're not from this world. Okay. They are from somewhere else. Okay. When I see them on the spiritual realm, they're not from here. Okay. I don't know where they come from, what planetary system or where they come from, but they're not from this earth. Okay. I don't even know how these people, because you got to understand the land of Israel itself was sold. Okay. They had people come to the land of Israel and buy the land. Okay. That's not their land. Okay. They told them, they said, you come get this free land, like they did the natives. They said, come get this free land. Okay, this land's for free. Okay. But when I see them on the energy, like it's in the spiritual realm, that guy from Israel, that's running Israel, he is not from this place. Okay, his energy is very dark. Okay, his aura is dark. I don't know where this man is from. Okay, but wherever he's from is a very dark place. Okay, let me find him. And then I was watching the people, and they were having like all kinds of like, okay, like the Seal of Solomon. Okay, these people are not, I don't know who these people are. Okay, somebody says facts, some are species. Yes, I don't know this species. Okay, I can't get a grip on these species. Okay, because they're not tall whites. They're not tall whites. They're not the grays. Okay, because Benjamin not whatever, he is not from this, he's not from this world. Okay, he is from another place. Okay, and I was watching a video and I was listening to him speak, and I was listening to other people speak about what's going on in Israel and Palestine. This is for entertainment purposes, but the energy that I was picking up was they're not from this place. Okay, somebody said reptilians. I don't know if they are reptilians. I don't know what kind of reptilians they are, because there's so many different reptilian species. Okay, but they were not, when I was picking up him, because I can see a picture and I can read the energy. That's the gift I have. Okay, I read energy. Okay, and the energy that I was getting from him was not human. Okay, he could be from a reptilian race. Let me find his picture. And then I was watching people that were in Israel speak, and they call them people colonizers, colonialisms, whatever they call them people. I don't know if they are reptilian species or they're definitely a hybrid species, but I don't know what kind of hybrid species they are. Okay, is there species that are hybrid species, because we are hybrid species, right? But they are definitely a hybrid species, but I don't know what hybrid species. And it's interesting that you said reptilian, because reptilians, when I'm around a reptilian species, because there's multiple types of reptilian. When I'm around reptilians, I don't get scared of them, but their energy is disturbing. Okay. The darker reptilians. Okay. Their energy is very heavy. You can cut it with a knife. Okay. And it's very dark. Okay. It's like you can't breathe or catch your breath. Okay. This is him right here. This guy, I'm like, does he have a mask on? Is he wearing like a mask? I had to keep asking myself this. This man, and I have nothing against Jewish people. I love Jewish people. Okay, I have Jewish friends. But this man is false. Okay. His energy is false. I don't know what this man is. He could be a reptilian race. He's definitely a hybrid race. You can look at him and tell. Let me show you another picture. Every time I see him, I get like, when I see him that day speak, and then I heard others people speak, I'm like, where are these people from? Where is this species from? Because I have encountered reptilians, okay? I have encountered the grays. I have encountered the whites. I have encountered, there's a African black Um, they're from well, what planet is that? They're also from Sirius system. The series. Okay, they're from the series. There's Series A, Series B, planetary system. Okay, they're black though. Okay, and their heads are like my head. Okay, a big forehead. um, but this man, I don't know where he's from, what planetary system. He's very dark. Okay, very dark. This man is very, very, very dark. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know, so they are not the original Israelites. Okay, when we talk about the original Israelites, the original Hebrews, the original Jews, um, that race has been hijacked. Okay. Somebody says maybe he's just a vessel with mixed low energy. I don't know. All I know is very dark. Is very mysterious energy. Very dark. And it wasn't just him that I was picking this energy up on too. I was picking this energy up on people that was talking on live television. I'm like, where are these people from? Like, because they're not from that land. Okay. And I was also picking up German. They were German. Okay. From Germany. And I was saying to myself, how did the Germans get to Israel? Okay. But we know when Wesley was in power, what's his name? Hitler. Okay, Hitler didn't die that day. Okay, Hitler was still alive. He's no longer alive. Okay, but Hitler, a lot of things that Hitler did, they use a lot of what Hitler did in the MK Ultra, CIA, and stuff like that. But Hitler didn't die that day. He was still alive. Okay, but and Hitler had Jewish and German descent. But is it truly Jewish descent? Okay, they could be an offspring of the Jewish descent. But the real Jewish Israelites, they come from a place in Ethiopia. Okay, they're called the Beta Jews. Okay, Beta, the Beta Jews. Okay, they have on their foreheads, they have tattoos they wear on their foreheads. The younger generation don't do it. Some do. But the older generation, they have tattoos all over their body. Their tattoos are their solar system. Okay, that's what I was picking up. Their tattoos are their actual solar system. Okay, not just solar system where they came from. It's also a map. Okay, and I don't want to get too much into things that are not supposed to be talked about as far as the Beta Jews, but they are the original Israelites. I need somewhere about Hitler, about multiple clones he kept in Antarctica. Yes, there is a fight for Antarctica, okay, because Antarctica has more land, okay. There is also, Antarctica is if you go to Antarctica, it doesn't even say you're in Antarctica. Okay, everybody wants Antarctica because there's more land mass behind the ice walls. Okay, there's more civilization behind the ice walls that they don't want us to know about. Okay, this is why there was papyrus that was hidden from us. Okay, about civilization, about the alien race, because if we knew that we come from alien races, some of us can't even believe that. Okay, it's too far, it's too crazy and too far-fetched. But we do come from the solar system. Now the solar system is in the sky, and it's above us and below us. Okay. But Antarctica is very interesting. When I was channeling Antarctica, um, I was getting the chills, and I was getting chills. I was getting hot. So in Antarctica, what we see is the cold, but there is also places in Antarctica there where there's warmer climates. Because when I was channeling Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine, if you guys know about Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, that's where they took her. They took her to Antarctica, and they took her to Greenland. Okay. She was a pedophilia. She was trafficking children with Jeffrey Epstein. I read somewhere about Hitler had multiple clones. Yes. Hitler was he didn't pass away that day they said he passed away. He was still alive. Okay. Now what happened was the Catholic Church, the Catholic churches, they fled. A lot of them fled to South America. A lot of them fled to America. A lot of them fled to other places. Okay. Dutch places, South America, and they went through the churches. Okay. Now these people that went through the churches were high-ranking officers in Hitler's army. Okay. This is what I'm getting spiritually. Okay. Now I've watched a documentary on Hitler, and they did have some of them that went through the Catholic churches. They helped them escape because they were going to be charged for murder of the Jewish people. Okay. The offspring of the Jewish people. Okay. I have nothing against Jewish people. I love Jewish people. Okay. I love all people. But he did not die that day. Okay. They said he poisoned himself. He was still alive. Okay. He got away. Okay. A lot of our things that we use in the military came from Hitler and the scientists that were studying on humans. Okay. They were using humans to experiment on. Okay. And they fled through the churches. Okay. They had documentation, and a lot of them got away and fled through the churches. Some were, I think there's one or two of them still living in South America. That's why they burnt down the Amazon. Remember, there was a movie, and they talked about how that Nazi fled to the Amazon, or they didn't talk about it. But that's why they burnt half the Amazon, because there was graves of Nazi soldiers, okay, Nazi people, okay, that fled to South America, okay. These were doctors, these were scientists. They did some horrific crimes, okay. They even have an agency now, today, that that were hunting down these people that were in the Nazi regime, and they're Jewish, okay. They have a task force that find a lot of these men are older. They're in their 80s and 90s. They're on their last breath, okay. But it's very interesting. The MK Ultra technique that they use, okay. I seen a psychic. She's a very good psychic. She's a Caucasian psychic. I remember when I first seen her on my page, because I don't follow a lot of psychics, okay. But she's good, okay. And psychics know psychics, okay. So I remember one time she came down my feed, and I seen her video, and I was like, this woman has a gift. She's a true psychic, because psychics know psychics. And then, like, I think it was like couple months later, I seen her, and she was MK Ultra, and I'm like, how the hell did they get her? Okay, they obviously got her. Okay, they did something to her. Okay, they got to her. Okay, so what I was seeing with her psychically was there was a man. Okay, she was dealing with. This man came into her life. He was sent to her. Okay, and he was in the military. Okay, and I'm seeing the Air Force here, and he tricked her. Okay, he was trickster energy that was coming into her energy, and she should have picked it up right away, but she was so distracted. Okay, very distracted. Okay, and so I see her a couple months later on her live, and I'm like, who is this woman? Okay, what did they do to her? Okay, they obviously got her. Okay, so I asked myself, how did they get her? Okay, I haven't really channeled her energy, um, but they got her. Okay, so what I mean is they got her and they did something to her to experiment on her. And they also was sending sound waves to her phone. Okay, not just sound waves. Um, I feel like whatever medication she was taking, it was some kind of altering state medication. Okay, but they got her. Okay, anyway, so she sounds crazy as hell. Okay, but she's not crazy. Okay, she's very enlightened. Okay, she talks about the metaverse, metaverse, which we're in the metaverse, and we're characters in the metaverse. Okay, um, that's really deep. A lot of you guys won't understand that. Okay, what I just said. Okay, but she was taken. Okay, I think it was one of her last videos. Yeah, she was MK Ultra. MK Ultra is mind control. So what they do is they might send like sound waves through your phone. Um, they also might, like, say you're on medication, right? You might have like high blood pressure. Okay, so they might put you on a medication that alters your state of mind. Okay, where you normally take the medication for blood pressure, right? So you're picking up your medicine and you're thinking, oh, okay, this is just my regular blood pressure medication. Okay, and it's not your regular blood pressure medication. Okay, it's something that alters your state of mind. Okay, um, and she was highly psychic. Okay, highly psychic. Okay, and I picked it up from her right away. Okay, um, and she was talking about her channel was mostly about politics. Okay, and she knew too much. Okay, she was a Caucasian psychic. She was good. She was the real deal. Okay, but they got her. Okay, they got her. Okay, but it's not like they held her at a military base. Okay, MK Ultra been going on for a long time. MK Ultra, if you take a psychotropic medication, you need to be careful because you could be MK Ultra with that psychic medication, because psychotropic meds alter your state of reality. Okay, alters your state of consciousness. Okay, so they did get her. Okay, and she's talking about the metaverse, which she's right. We are in the metaverse. But what happened was she was talking a lot about politics, and she knew too much. Okay, so when I was doing videos, there's a list. Okay, so what happens is if you're a YouTuber or a TikToker or a Instagrammer and you're very knowledgeable or you're very psychic, okay? Because the government uses psychics. They have a program that they use psychics for. It's called remote viewing. I could be sitting right now where I'm sitting, and I can remote view where a person is from, where they're at, the location, if they're in a building, if they're outside, what they're wearing. That is remote viewing, okay? What they are doing. I do it with my friends sometimes. I call them up, even my daughter. Um, 2 days ago, my oldest daughter was washing clothes, and I was like, I was remote viewing you, and she's like, Mom, you need to start remote viewing me. She was washing her clothes and my grandson's clothes. Okay, I was channeling her. I was remote viewing her. Okay, remote viewing is a technique that many psychics have. They can use it and utilize it. So remote viewing is you basically are in a remote location. So I'm in my home, right? And I want to channel Edward, okay? And I want to know what Edward's wearing, what Edward is doing at this very moment, or what Edward is going to be doing later on, or where is Edward at. That is remote viewing, okay? So you can either describe the location, you can draw the location, okay? That is remote viewing, okay? And then you report your findings. And this is where so they say the target is Edward, okay? Edward is my target, okay? So Edward is sitting at a desk, okay, viewing me right now, watching my video. Edward is a black man. Edward wears glasses. Edward, his job is tech. Edward has a tech job. Okay. I see him working on computers, some kind of software. Am I right, Edward? Edward likes structure in his life. Okay. He's very structured. Okay. He's very family oriented. He likes to learn. He's always learning. Okay. Edward could also be a Virgo. Okay. He likes routine. Okay. So Edward don't like to go off his routine. Okay. I'm talking about Edward that is watching my channel right now. Okay. That's on my live. Okay. Edward likes to wear khakis. He likes to wear like polo shirts. He likes to wear like polo kind of shirts. He has a master's degree or a PhD degree. Edward said he's a developed programmer for youth development and empowerment. I knew it, Edward. I'm remote viewing your ass. So he said that he's a developed programmer for youth development and empowerment. I know that, Edward. Okay. Edward, you like structure. Okay. You like a routine. Okay. You don't like to go off your routine. And this stems from your childhood. Okay. You grew up in a very structured environment. He said, well, you're gifted. I'm very gifted. Thank you, Edward. This is what I do. Okay. I get paid to do this. Okay. I just remote viewed Edward on my channel. Jesse the Don. Jesse the Don is from a remote view in Jesse Don. Jesse the Don is from a city, an inner city. He lives in an inner city. I'm seeing New York City here. We're talking about Jesse the Don, okay? Let me go back to Jesse. I'm going to remote view Jesse right now. Jesse the Don. Okay, so let's remote view Jesse, okay? Jesse's like my complexion. He's brown skin. And I feel like he grew up in, I'm seeing New York, or inner city. Jesse, did you grow up in the inner city? Because I'm remote viewing your ass right now. Who's next? Alba Rose. Alba. Alba. It's interesting, Alba. Okay, Alba, you're fair skin. You're lighter than me. You have dark hair, black hair. You have children. I'm seeing 3 children. Do you have 3 children, Alba? 2 boys and a girl. Somebody says, stop. You're scaring my ass. I would work for the government. I really would. But they would have to work around my schedule. Okay. She said yes. Alba says she has 3 children. I'm seeing 3 children here with black hair. Okay, you have black hair. You sometimes dye your hair, Alba. Who else wants to be remote viewed here? Who else on my page? Let's see who else we got on here. Somebody says, do you believe in humans was originated from one race, the black man and women in Africa, from them all the other races? Yes. The oldest DNA comes from Africa, and the word Africa is not even the real name. Africa was not called Africa. Okay. I don't know if it was what's that guy that went to Africa? Africa was called there was another name for Africa. It wasn't Africa. It was called Africa was called another name. If any of you guys know what Africa was called, the other name for Africa. Okay, somebody says Jesse Don, I'm a lady, but same complexion. Yes, I went to college in DC. Okay. So I was close. It's interesting, Jesse, because you are feminine, but you're in your masculine. If this makes sense. You're too much in your masculine. Okay. She said she is the same complexion and she went to college in DC. Okay. So I was close. DC, New York. I know it was like the East Coast. Okay. Somebody says, can you stop somebody from remote viewing you? You really can't stop somebody from remote viewing you. Now I have seen celebrities, they use this thing. It's called, because Hollywood is ran by the CIA, if you guys don't know this. But they have, I have seen when it comes to like reptilian race, not just reptilians, like celebrity reads, sometimes their energy is cloaked. And when I say cloaked energy is where they have like, there is some witchcraft being done to cloak, or there's some, the witchcraft is like, they call it, it's like beauty magic. Okay. Because if you've really seen them on a soul or spiritual level, they look they don't even look like they look like. Okay, so it'll be like beauty magic. Okay, um, glamour magic. Okay, that's what I talk about when I'm talking about cloaking. Okay, because I'm always going to see who you are. Okay, um, Jesse said yes. That's the name of Africa. Yes, the original name of Africa was not Africa. It's even a assault and shame to even say the word Africa because it's not the original name. Okay. Some people say Kemet. Some people say Alkebulan. Alkebulan. I don't even know how to say that. Um, and some people say it's even another name. Okay, you guys gotta understand that the reason why they changed names to places and people and things is because to have you confused of who you really are. This is why I say you have to go back to your roots to find out who you are. But you could have been different people in different lifetimes, okay? Because a lot of us have had different lifetimes, okay? We have been here. We may have been born in China. We may have been born in South America. We may have been born in Egypt. We may have been born during the Atlantean time. Okay, a lot of us are Atlantean descent. Okay, the Atlanteans were wiped away, but there's still the descendants of the Atlanteans are still here. Okay, the descendants of the Africans are still here. Okay, yes, Africa was not called Africa. Somebody says I'm going to have to get a reading from you. Really, I'm too much in my masculine. Yes, Jesse, you're too much in your masculine. The reason why I say this is because when I was picking up your energy, um, I was picking up, even though you're feminine, because we all have a masculine side and a feminine side, I was picking up more your masculine side because you're too much in your masculine. And it's not good to be in your masculine, especially as a feminine woman, as a real woman, because what you see here is all woman. Ashe. I'm not a transgender woman or whatever woman. I'm a real woman. Okay. I was born a female and I will go out as a female. Okay. But what's happening is a lot of things are happening with women with the food that we also eat. Okay. The hormones, okay, can make you in your masculine too much. But if you want a reading from me, you just have to send me an email message. And when I can get a chance, I will do a reading for you. And I do charge for the readings. Somebody says, Yvette. Yvette, hey, Yvette. Yeah, I've been silently speaking, but I'm on the list. So when you are on the list, what happens is if you're psychic and you wind up on the list, they don't understand how you know what you know. Okay, it's because you're psychic. Okay, you have a gift. The government uses psychics. They need to utilize psychics more. But the problem with psychics is psychics do remote viewing. Okay, and then you have people that are not even psychic. Okay. There was a lady that went on a television show. What show did she go on? Was it Joe Rogan? She wasn't even psychic. Okay. She was a fake psychic. Okay. Yes, I've been observing in silence for a long time. But I've been speaking my truth and what I'm seeing out here. Okay. But you are become a targeted individual. Okay. Somebody says, "Dear Jennifer, can you pick up on what is in my ancestry?" Okay, so let me remote view one more person. Okay, Insight 369. What's my ancestry? It's very interesting. You have Caucasian ancestry And you also have the Caucasian ancestry you have is Dutch. And you also have a little bit of African ancestry. I'm also seeing some Swedish here. But the first thing I seen was Dutch. And like, I don't know if you're Haitian in Dutch or African in Dutch, but there's some kind of Dutch here or Swedish. Am I right or am I wrong? Hey, Tiffany. Tiffany is African American. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Time is never fluent. Am I right or am I wrong? So you have Dutch, you have a little bit of Swedish, and you have African DNA. And you might have a little bit of Irish in there. It's a shame that I can read other people's, but I can't read mine. Like, I know mine, like as far as my Taino, but my African, I know it's West African and something else. Do I get trouble seeing things? Yes. I have PTSD. When people say it's a curse and a blessing, I used to always think of it as a curse because I didn't know how to like when I'm channeling or I would see a spirit, I didn't know how can I say it? I don't even know how to say it because you're always going to see spirits. But I came to a point where I learned how to, like, if spirits would come in and try to talk to me, to be like, wait, okay? Because when you're a kid, it's hard, okay? Because you see them and you're just like, it freaks you out and you don't know, okay? You don't know what's going on, okay? And if you're in a family that don't know about this, and normally psychics are born in a family of psychics, okay? And some families, they don't want you to be psychic, okay? Because they'll call you crazy. She's crazy, okay? And she's not crazy, or he's crazy. But it's because people don't believe in the metaphysical or the supernatural or the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is more real than the physical realm. Okay, so I just did remote viewing on somebody. Inside 369, I have heard African from my dad's side and father from Mexico. However, my mom's side was more Caucasian looking. Thank you. Yeah, your ancestors are Dutch, Irish, and Swedish. Okay. But I was picking up Dutch and Swedish first. So you have more Swedish and Dutch, and then you have a little bit of Irish. And that would be on your mother's side. But you do have African in you. Mother and father from Mexico. Yeah, your mother has Caucasian in her, yes. Do I get troubled? Yes, I do get troubled. Psychics do go through depression. Some psychics get hospitalized. I've never was hospitalized. Can I unseen what I see? No. Can I learn how to, because we have to go through the dark and we have to go through the light. And what I mean is we have to go to lower places and higher places. That's what psychics do, real psychics do. So I have to be very grounded in my energy. I have to really know myself. Do I suffer from a form of depression sometimes? Yes, because of the things that I do see. Yes, I do. Some of the things I see are horrific, okay? And it makes me not trust humanity, okay? And then again, I do trust humanity because I know that there is still good people out there. I know that there is better places, and I know I have to make this life my heaven until I get to the heavenly realms, may I say. Um, do people tend to inherit psychic abilities? Yes. You inherit it from your mother's side and your father's side. Okay. Most of the times it's on your mother's side, but you can get it from your mother's side and your father's side. So you can have both parents that are psychic. Okay. You can have, um, your grandma could have been psychic, your aunt could have been psychic. Um, the ones they call crazy are more in touch with reality than the ones that are sane. Okay. Just saying. They used to call my aunt crazy, and she was psychic. Because back then, on my mother's side and my dad's side, there was psychic. So my aunt was called crazy because she could see, okay, but she wasn't crazy, okay, she just could see. I remember one time I went into her apartment, and she said that the people were listening to her, and I was like, is she going crazy? Like, is she going crazy? Like, because some psychics, they get schizophrenia, okay, because they are hearing voices, okay, because they're psychic. They can hear the other side, but they don't know how to channel out those voices, okay. But she was being watched. My aunt was very highly psychic, but my family called her crazy. Yes, fat. You inherit psychic abilities. Yes, more from the mother side. Venus, the father side. Um, yes, it's overwhelming sometimes, so I have to take breaks. Um, I do have to take breaks for my own sanity, because the things that I see on the spiritual. So if I'm channeling, and I've been working more on my channel since I started my channel on crimes, with children and adults, and the stuff I see, you can't unsee. So yes, it is very overwhelming. Okay, and people think that we don't get depression, we don't get PSTD. I mean, if you see the shit we see on the spiritual realm, of course you're going to have some kind of form of depression, and some form of PTSD. Okay, but you have to be very grounded, um, and you have to know how to channel that energy, because when schizophrenic people, they're hearing voices and they're not knowing how to channel that energy, they go crazy. Okay, they wind up in a psych ward. Okay, and they shouldn't be in a, well, some of them, they do need help. Okay, um, because even with the Kundalini awakening, the spiritual awakening as a psychic, you can go crazy. Okay, so it does happen. Somebody says, I see spirits faintly sometimes, and one called my name out loud, freaking me out. Could you imagine being a child? Could you imagine being a child and seeing? My grandson, when my aunt crossed over, my grandson, Josiah, was the first one to see her cross. He said, you see that lady over there in the bald hair? That man. He said, that man. And I looked, and it was my aunt. She lost all her hair. She had cancer. And he's seen her first before I could see her. I was supposed to go to the hospice like that night before, and I didn't make it. She crossed that morning, and we were all laying downstairs because my cousin was in Ohio. She couldn't get to where we were at, and she asked me and begged me, and I didn't, to be honest with you guys. My aunt was like a mother to me too, so it was really hard, and I didn't want to be the first one to get there, to be honest. My aunt Lori was there. I didn't want to, I seen her, but I didn't want to see her go. Do you know what I mean? But somebody says a gift with the thorns. It's very overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. Psychics don't talk about it, but I'm talking about it. It can be overwhelming, especially if you are a child. Okay, it could be very overwhelming. Okay, that's why they do tests to see if children are psychic in elementary school. You know that test where um, they have images and stuff, and they have images and um, there's a test that they do to see if you're normal. Okay, but what's the definition of normal? Okay, an IQ test. So what is the definition of normal? Okay, there's no definition of normal. Okay, there's highly intelligent children that have low IQs. Okay, um, yeah, you can't imagine being a child and seeing spirits. Okay, because if you don't come from a family that can embrace it, it can be hard for you. Yes, it can be terrifying for you. Yes. Okay, so if you have a child that is psychic, um, do not discard what they say. Okay. When my grandson said about my aunt being in the corner, I said, yeah, that's Aunt Ellie. She has crossed over. She's in the heavenly realms. And I said, let's say goodbye to her. Okay. And we said goodbye, but she's still around. And I tried to explain that to my grandson. He was younger then. He sees all the time, and he gets terrified. Um, and so if you have a child that is psychic, you embrace that, okay? You talk about it with them. You don't go put them on medication first. Um, you talk to them, um, and you find other psychics to help them, okay? Because and normally you have somebody in your family that's psychic, but you don't discredit what they're saying, okay? And some children do have mental illnesses, okay? And I'm not a doctor, and this is for entertainment purposes, okay? But you embrace their psychic abilities. Um, you can tell them some children are clairsentient, some children are clairvoyant, some kids are mediums, some kids are psychic, most psychics are to me are mediums. It's very terrifying for a child. So with my grandson, I just take it slowly. Okay, even my granddaughter, I take it slowly with them. But I embrace it. And I even told my daughter, she already knows we just embrace it. Okay. Um, we talk about it to my grandson. They're not dead. When they are dead, they walk away from the Christ conscience. Okay? When you talk about somebody that is dead, they walk away from Christ's conscience. Okay? Even the concept of hell and heaven is wrong. Okay? Even the concept of death is wrong. Okay? Somebody that is dead inside, they walk away, completely away from Christ's conscience. Okay? They could be possessed. Okay? Um, Possession is real. I've seen it myself. Um, Somebody says something test that they do in school. Yeah, it's some kind of test that they do. That's how they know if your kid is autistic. I don't even know how to say that word. Or learning disability. They do tests. Some people see faces. In ancient time, when you could see the faces or the spirits, the gateway program, yeah. When you can see they normally can tell a child that was a seer. Okay. Somebody says the Gateway program. Yeah, so they do these tests on these children young for a specific reason. Okay. Is to test them to see their abilities. Okay. That IQ test is bullshit. Okay. The Gateway program refers to a comprehensive real investment program focused on improving. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on the wrong thing here. Yeah, it's like the GPA. It's the Gateway program for the CIA and NASA. They use it. The Gateway program started and was sponsored in the 1980s, but it began way before the 1980s. It was explored consciousness and remote viewing techniques. Yes. Utilize sound frequency, brain waves, cycle, alter states of awareness as revealed in declassified documents. Yes. The Gateway program is very real. It's still going on. It has been going on. It started way before the 1980s. Okay. Yes, some of these children get recruited young to work for the government. They watch them. They check out their families. Like they do a background check on their family, and they go to like they might go to a military base. They might go to most of the time it's probably a military base, or like housing. I remember one time I was channeling and I seen like a it looked like this place where all these people went that were gifted with some kind of gifts. Um, they did hearing tests also. Yes, they do all those tests, hearing, vision. They do all those tests. Yeah, so when your child has psychic abilities, yeah, don't discourage them. Have them draw, have them express verbally how they're feeling. Um, don't dismiss them. Find ways where make sure they're very grounded. Okay, make sure you take them out in nature. Make sure they do things that they like to do. Okay, so they like to go to the park, or they like to go for walks, or they like to draw. Let them do those things. Okay. If they like to read, or they want to be read to, do those things. If they want to learn about things, get those books so they can learn. Okay. Um, yeah, it can be overwhelming. You guys, I'm getting off this live. Thank you guys for joining me. Yes, a lot. Some people are psychic and don't even know they're psychic. Some people suppress their psychicness because they just don't want to see, and that's okay. But what happens when you suppress it, you're still going to see. Okay. But I see this a lot of times. People wind up getting like I'm really starting to believe that autoimmune diseases are from us, for entertainment purposes, not really expressing how we truly feel. And that's not a good thing, okay? Because you should be able to express your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions in a healthy way. A lot of us were born in environments where we were supposed to be seen and not heard. And you should be heard and seen in a respectful way. You guys, thank you guys for joining me. I've been on this live for a very long time. Yes, foster homes too. I noticed with kids that come from foster homes, I'm starting to believe that a lot of children that grow up in Hollywood, when I was channeling people from Hollywood, a lot of those children were not born in families from Hollywood. They were born in the foster system or orphanage, and they were taken in, okay? And they were groomed, they were programmed, and they were chipped, okay? In one of my videos, I was seeing barcodes, and I was like, why am I seeing barcodes, okay? And it was a video I was doing on a famous person. I'm like, why am I seeing that this person has a barcode in their skin? Like, what is this? Okay, what is this all about? Okay. Um, and yes, a lot of kids have been experimented on and not even knowing they've been experimented on. They might been they might have ADHD, they might have a form of autism. Um, where they can feel everything around them. Those children sometimes are very empathic, very they're very they are very sensitive children, because they can walk in a room and they can feel every person's emotions. And it's very hard for those children to express themselves. They normally go within instead of without, like expressing their emotions verbally. They take all that in and they act out. Okay. And it's not healthy. Okay. That's why they should have a space where they can express themselves freely. Okay. Um, because children normally don't act out because of they want to act out. Okay. There's a reason why that child is acting out. Okay. Um, they can be doing it for attention. They can be doing it for escape. They can be doing it for sensory. They can be doing it for something tangible. Normally the tangible is attention because most children just want to be loved and they just want that attention. Okay. You guys, I'm letting you guys go. I've been on here for a very long time. Thank you guys for letting me remote view you. Thank you. Thank you. I love remote viewing. I wouldn't mind working for the government, but the problem is I don't want to be confined and restricted. I want to come and go freely, and not have somebody tell me what I have to do, or have to clock in at a certain time. Um, and I don't think the Gateway program, you could do that. Okay. I think you have to clock in at a certain time and clock out. And they might say, okay, we need you right now. We have this person in this foreign country that is going to drop a bomb or something. I don't know. Okay. Just FYI. Okay. And you have to come in and you have to remote view. Okay. Somebody says, I've been watching you for over an hour and Jennifer Phillips, you haven't had a sip of water during the time. Aren't you thirsty? Yes, I am. I'm very thirsty. I'm going to end this, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm thirsty for life. I'm thirsty for life. Okay. I'm thirsty for life. I'm thirsty for the truth. I'm thirsty for the knowledge. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to let you guys go. Some people out here are MK Orchard and don't even know they're MK Orchard. They had one through an MK Orchard program. They don't even know that they were MK Orchard child or MK Orchard adults. They don't know it. But I've seen it. Okay, you guys, on the spiritual realm. Okay. And this video is for entertainment purposes, and this is all bullshit. But thank you for letting me remote view you guys. Okay, you guys? All right, Ashe. Bye, you guys. Hit that like button, share my video. Bye. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for letting me remote view you. And I have people watching me that I can still see you. All right, bye, you guys.